Good evening, Bulldog baseball fans, and welcome to WNKX. We are live on this Friday night for Bulldog baseball on this very special senior night as your Bulldogs are playing host to the Kenwood Knights from Clarksville. I'm Josh Copley, joined by Colby, Shelton, and Colbs. It's fun to be back up here in the press box.
Absolutely. A little colder this time than last, but man, it's always good to watch some Bulldog baseball, and I'm pumped for another day of it.
Now, Colby, you and we made a trip down to Hampshire last night when the Bulldogs were taking on the Hawks in Murray County, and we sadly couldn't get any internet going for you guys to have a stream, so we do apologize for that. But, Colby, I think that game was pretty good for us. We got to study up a little bit, keep up with the dogs and stats and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it was a great night. Great night for the Dogs, too, pulling that one out 26-3. It was a long one, I got to be honest. But, man, those are good games for both us to kind of watch the game and talk and get better at this, and also for the Dogs to get better at winning ball games. And so that was great to see.
And Colby, something that a big win like that does, not only does it build confidence, but it lets you cycle some guys in there that might not get as much varsity time. You get to add more depth to your roster. And as we saw earlier, for the JV game against Kenwood, Hickman County won 11-0 in just 3 innings. So the future is certainly bright here at Hickman County High School.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while. It's just this program does a great job about building young men into good baseball players and just good people. So it's really a really important thing, and you know they're showing out. So that's really all you can say about that.
And we know every game's important to Colby. Every win you can gather is good. But tonight's going to mean just a little bit more to those senior Bulldogs over there. And there is a lot of them, a lot of senior leaders that are going to want to end their senior season on a high note. And it starts with winning one game at a time, and that includes right here on senior night.
Absolutely. You don't have many of these left as a senior, and even as a freshman, they fly by. So it's very important to go out and lock in and take it. You're getting to the meat and potatoes of the season anyway. So this is really when you want to start putting together good innings, good at bats, and you know they got another chance to do it tonight.
And you mentioned it, Colbs. We are on the cusp of district play, and that's when things really start to spice up a little bit. We're going to see a lot more good baseball games as the season goes along, but you want to take as much momentum as you can get into those district games because, yes, every game does matter, but those district games, Colby, there's a little bit more sauce to those.
Yeah, it matters a lot because not only are those, lack of a better word, like you don't like those teams all too much at their rivals, but also postseason seeding is huge. And like you just, it's nice to win a district. It's nice to say that you've done that. So it's very important to play good at that time of year.
And Colby, I know stats are more your thing, so I won't overstep too much on this, but just to look back at the game from last night, in case you missed it, the Bulldogs were victorious over Hampshire by a final score of 26-3. And Hickman County accumulated 18 hits and 1 error, and Hampshire had 4 hits and 6 errors. And again, the defense really came back to haunt those Hawks, just as it did last week, the last time we saw those teams face off. And Hampshire seemed like 2 different teams between these 2 games, but also the Bulldogs did too. Hickman County looked so much more poised last night than they did in that first matchup with Hampshire. Of course, that first matchup ended with the Andy Kraft walk-off. How exciting was that? But for the coaches and for the fans and for the players, yes, walk-offs are exciting, but you'd rather be able to take care of business before the other team even has a chance.
It's so nice to be able to do that, and like it's comforting to also have your ace go out there and dominate like he did in John Michael. And I think he only threw like 45 pitches, but man, he looked dominant, and that's a confidence boost to him and the defense as they played well. Another confidence boost to the offense, putting up 26 runs on a team that you had to kind of claw and fight at home to win. So it's a really good like booster to you, confidence booster, and it's a perfect time to do so.
That also shows us that you can't overlook any team. every game in the sport of baseball can go differently because you just never know. Sometimes the hits fall, sometimes they don't. Sometimes your pitching's on, sometimes it's not. Sometimes your defense is going to make those tough plays, sometimes it's going to sneak right between.
Going out and fighting in your at bats, fighting on the mound, and doing what you're supposed to do. So I think for the Dogs, you're supposed to look at this as an opportunity, and seems mentally that they are.
So, how did you get into the huddle last night?
Well, as we said, it was quite a long game. Couldn't get the broadcast going, sadly. Um, so I was fortunate to hang out with the team in the dugout and be kind of an honorary coach. Uh, I say that I didn't do much; I just stood there. But at the end of the game, I was just hanging out with my dad and was in the huddle. And it's cool to come back, and it's almost 10 years for me graduating from high school, and played with Cooper, who's also a coach, and it's just cool to look at these kids and also just see how good that this program still is, and be a proud alumni looking back. So I, they're in a great mindset right now. They're playing good ball. They're confident, and they just love to play, which is all you can really ask for as a fan.
Absolutely. And I do want to touch a little bit on this coaching staff. How awesome has it been to watch this team this year? And a lot of that has been in part of this coaching staff. And we can talk all about Coach Duchesne, who recently took over the program as the head coach, but also the return of Craig Shelton as an assistant. He was there for a long time, took a little hiatus, and now he's back. And he brings just something special to that coaching staff, a bit of a morale boost. He brings his experience and his knowledge. So Craig Shelton's value cannot be overstated. And also having Cooper Mays in that dugout as well. Colby, you and I both know this, being former teammates of Cooper in high school. What a phenomenal player he was.
I'm a bit biased towards my father. I think he's a calming presence, kind of different than what you think of an old ball coach, and something you need in the dugout. Someone you can trust and kind of go to for advice. And Cooper, he's been there, done that type of guy. Like or Mr. Allstate, as he's still in my phone. That's his contact in my phone still, but
A well-deserved
well deserved. He earned it. Mr. Baseball runner up. Like, he's been there, done that. So getting that kind of like experience in the dugout to go along with Coach Smith and Coach Duchesne with their experience, like, really, really fortunate to have all four of those guys there, and that's awesome to be a player to learn from those four.
And I think we need to give Coach Smith some flowers as well. He took over for the first time this year as the football head coach, and that's no easy task. And really all he brought to the football team in his first year, and he said this in the interview we had with him before the season started. He didn't have any head coaching experience before that, but he did say, I have that military background. I know how to lead at the very least. He knows how to be an example. He knows how to motivate. And he's bringing that same presence to this baseball team, and that's also super, super important to have, especially when baseball can be kind of a long season.
I think, admittedly, I know him the least, but just in my short time of knowing him and even seeing how he operated last night, it's so important to have a guy with that mentality. At one point in the third, I think they were up like 15-1, 19-1, somewhere in there, and having a type of guy like that that's just locked into every pitch. He kept saying in the dugout, stay locked in, stay locked in. This is an opportunity. So it's so important to have all the mesh of those four coaches and have each of them, kind of mentoring these kids. So special group of coaches and players for sure.
Absolutely. And, Coach Duchesne, it certainly takes a wise man to surround yourself with great coaches. And he has done just that here with the Hickman County High School baseball programs. Not only does he have his tremendous leadership and coaching ability as the captain of the ship, if you will, but he's got a great supporting cast with him. And because of senior night and also because of the rain we got here, Colbs, the mound was tarped, home plate was tarped. We are getting a bit of a late start in this one. So you may see on your screen right now the Bulldogs were just now getting to warm up and take a little bit of infield, and now the umpires making their way to home plate. So hopefully we're about to be underway here from Mike Smithson Field.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think, a challenge at the beginning, just getting out of the festivities of senior day, getting back into like game mode. It's cold, it's wet, the wind's blowing hard to to the right field pole. It's going to be a challenge to stay locked in, but again, this coaching staff is kind of preached. This is an opportunity, take advantage of it. So I'm excited to see how they play in this one. I know maybe the opponent is not going to be a district type opponent. Maybe we're favored. Who cares, right? You throw that out the window and you go play ball. So I'm excited for another day of Bulldog baseball.
And I was hoping the wind would die down from yesterday because you and I going to Hampshire, the wind was potent and it felt like all you had to do was pop one up and it'd get blown over the wall. And tonight's more the same, maybe a little bit more forgiving than yesterday, but still, you got to be mindful of those conditions.
Yeah, and from a experience level, just make sure you're like no sin. If you're in the crowd, no sinuses, no issues like that, because they're gonna ramp up. Grab your Zyrtec, grab your nasal spray. Like this is gonna be a brutal one, but another game of Bulldog baseball is a fun time, and I'm excited for it, Josh.
And again, Colb's a lot to be excited about with March Madness picking back up today in the college basketball world. Had opening day in the MLB yesterday, more baseball at the professional level being played today and through this weekend. So much to be excited about, but there's no better way I'd like to end my week than right here at Douglas T. Bates III Stadium.
Absolutely. There's no better like this time of year is awesome. We talked about it maybe two broadcasts ago that you go from March Madness into baseball. The Masters is in there too. Like, if you're a sports fan, this is the time of year, man. So, um, but yeah, let's get locked in on another game. Hopefully, hopefully the rain won't come back. I don't think it's in the forecast. I think that was it, but we'll see. But yeah, it's crunch time now. It's the middle of the season, so let's see.
Admittedly, we have a bit of a privilege compared to some of the fans and players because we're up here in a nice cozy press box, safe from the rain. I know, Colby, as we were coming down here for the ball game, people were saying, "Can we join you up in the press box? You don't get cold or wet." But unfortunately, it's a tight squeeze up here.
Good evening, baseball fans.
Yeah, it's if I'm being that guy, I'd love a heater, but I will take no wind. Very fortunate to be up here, but yeah, sorry, closed off to us.
Number 21, Josiah Gansky. Number 7, Lestat Bridge. Number 4, Jaden Barnes.
So now the starting lineups for both teams being
Number 11,
introduced, and
Jerome
following
Alfred.
that will be the national anthem, and then following that we will
Number
have
19,
first
Carter
pitch
Combs.
on WNKX. and the national anthem has concluded. And Colby, it's on days like today we can really appreciate the community and the beauty of sports in that way, because we're remembering Kenwood, keeping them in our thoughts and prayers, as today the middle school was afflicted by a fatal bus crash, and we can only imagine what they're going through. We're sure some of these players for Kenwood, these parents, knew somebody that was involved. So, it's more than a game. Colby, keeping them in our thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, that's a tough situation, and I always think sport was invented to kind of distract you from stuff that goes on, and so it's good to have something like this where these kids can kind of, and parents honestly can go somewhere and not think about something like that for a couple hours. So that's something you never want to see, you never want to hear. So yeah, it's just hopefully we can you know not think about it for a little bit for Kenwood, and yeah, say a prayer for them tonight. That's rough.
So if anybody from Kenwood just so happens to be listening to this broadcast, just know that we love you and we're thinking about you, and WNKX sends our condolences. But now to look at your outfield for your Hickman County Bulldogs, going left to right. In left field, it's Major Qualls. Patrolling center is Andy Kraft. And in right field, it's going to be Wyatt Bates. And Colby, there's a bit of a new look for the infield. I'll let you run through that.
Yeah, we've got Ruger Toddy at the hot corner at third. Spiggs is back at short as he was last night, and Braden Chesser moves over to second base with Ruger going to third. John Michael Lewis, our pitcher from last night, mans the other hot corner at first base. And, of course, we've got McCaleb behind the dish with Carter Bates throwing balls and strikes.
So a pretty stout defense do these Bulldogs have, Colbs, and that's been sort of their strength. But now, what do you think the thought process is behind keeping Kraft in center and Spiggs at short?
I think they liked what they saw last night. I think it was that's two really good athletes. You can kind of put them all over the place, and you're kind of thankful if you're this coach, if you're Hickman's coaching staff, to be like, we can throw these guys anywhere we want. So that's where they played last night. They looked really good last night. I think it's some sort of just a tryout before you go to district games to see, hey, can this work for us too? It's nice to have that versatility to give you more options when you get deeper in the season, and let's see if this works. And I like it.
There is a lot of speed and athleticism on this Bulldog defense. They're going to have to put that to use tonight. Leading off for Kenwood, the shortstop Sean Taylor, and we are underway with the first pitch. It misses for a ball. Carter Bates toeing the slab, working quick. Down on the count 1-0. The second pitch is fouled off into the trees, and we're even at 1-1. That one in there for a called strike two.
Yeah, if we go back just almost a week, more than a week ago, Carter Bates put up a really good performance.
That ball's lined to second, just out of the reach of Chesser, and that's going to the gap, and it's going to roll to the wall. Taylor's got wheels. He rounds second. He's going for third. You're not used to the ball carrying. It looked like Bates and Kraft maybe thought that ball was going to die, and it shoots right past him. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, and he's hit by the pitch. Runners on the corners. Still nobody out to start the top of the first.
Yeah, usually you kind of want that free out on the bunt, but it's tough with a guy at third because you just saw the guy at third's wheels, having that triple. So tough situation to start the ball game, but you've got a way to get two outs quickly right here. You might have to sacrifice a run, but that's kind of the position you're in right now.
And McCaleb calls the first in. On that last block, you really see the value of McCaleb's defense behind the plate. Still pretty short lead, and Bates disengages again, but the umpire calls time, looks over to Coach DeShane, and I think we're going to have a new first and third play be implemented.
Yeah, I'm curious what he saw out there to call time and really get another play out there. Again, still locked in on the batter. It's an 0-2 count. If you can strike this guy out, it's huge for the Dogs.
And again, Bates disengages, throw over to first. Nobody going. But again, Bates right back on the mound, ready to go to work.
You've got the corners kind of playing even with the bag,
The
very very close. But yeah, that leadoff triple comes back around to bite them. Now you got a guy at second, one out, 1-0 game. Let's see if the Dogs can limit it at one.
And those are those mental mistakes that you definitely want to clean up as you head towards district play, just to know that throwing the ball right there and head towards district play, just to know that throwing the ball right there not too necessary. Your pitcher went out there and got the strike.
Other than that first pitch of the game, other than that first pitch of the game, he's gotten some really awkward swings out there. He looks like himself right now. I say with the leadoff triple, but he's throwing some really good pitches. That was a classic eye level change strikeout. We saw the pitch before that, kind of not even close, not even competitive, out of the zone and up, and he just threw that one straight in the dirt. Eye level was all changed up, and now there's 2 outs. 2 outs. We need to see if we can push another run over. But I'm not sure about why wait this long.
Asbury ahead 2-0. And the damage has been minimized at the end of the top half of the first. It's Kenwood 1, Bulldogs nothing. So now, Colby, as the Bulldogs are prepared to take their first swings of senior night, let's take a look at the Kenwood Knights defensive lineup, beginning in the outfield from left to right. Playing left field, Cameron Williams. In center field is Jerome Asbury. In right field is Aiden Fussin. Now looking at the infield at the hot corner.
Really work him. Really try to work balls and strikes and work the counts. That worked as they were hit quite a few times and they walked even more. So the hard contact, the plate discipline, it's really a nightmare for the opposing pitcher, and let's see if it continues tonight. Plate discipline, it's really a nightmare for the opposing pitcher, and let's see if it continues tonight.
So it's going to be 1, 2, and 3 for the Bulldogs in the bottom half of inning number 1, starting things off as he has all season.
Maybe it's upside down, Josh. Anyway, it's been a great year for Kraft, and let's see him continue that tonight.
And that one misses inside for a ball. So, Colby, I think Kraft's uniform got caught up at the cleaners.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's the delivery. 2-2 pitch, Kraft. Chopper back to the mound. Gansky fields, throw on to first in time. Kraft is set down on a 1-3 putout.
Yeah, it was almost like an off-speed little breaking pitch that out in front of, and hit off the end of the bat. A little squibber back to the pitcher. As a pitcher, take that every time. Let's see if Spiggs can get it going here with 1 out.
Swaden Spiegelmeyer stepping in for the Dogs, the shortstop, and Kolb's Gansky, very tall, lanky pitcher on the mound. And Spiggs fouls that one into his own dugout. And so speak to his mechanics and how that...
Him and John Michael Lewis, which is the plan here with this lineup, having those 2 good athletes at the top and then these 2 just guys that pound the ball 3 and 4. It's pretty dangerous when it works out. So really would love to see some 2-out magic here with the 3 and 4 hitters and McCaleb and Lewis.
And McCaleb smacks that one up the box, right back where it came from, and with 2 outs, Braden McCaleb's got a single.
Up next for the Bulldogs, number 4, John Michael Lewis.
And McCaleb just so good at putting the bat on the ball, to put it in layman's terms. And that's almost the perfect swing, Colby. You're taught ever since you're a little kid, the best way to hit the ball is hard and up the middle, and that's what McCaleb did right there with 2 away.
That's really when you know that you're kind of in sync and you're seeing it well, is when you start hitting it either just to the right of the pitcher or right at him. That's when you know your timing is there, your swing's in sync, and you're in the zone. So it's good to see that. Let's see what John Michael does here.
That one's in the dirt. Runner takes off for second. He's in there standing, and that's going to be Kylan Seal, who's courtesy running for Braden McCaleb.
Ball seemed to get away right there on the throw. Not far enough for Seal to take third, but got a man in scoring position with a guy you want at the dish. So let's see if the Dogs can capitalize here.
The count runs full. 3-2 to Lewis. Seal at third. Gansky delivers. 2 to Lewis. Seal at third. Gansky delivers. Ground ball past the third base. It's fair. And you called it, Colbs. Seal scores. Lewis to second. And he stops there with a 2-out, 2-bagger. And it's a senior night RBI for John Michael Lewis.
I overestimated the speed, but no, it was a well placed ball, not as hard as we've seen from John Michael, but you don't need that in those situations. You just need the ball to get in somewhere for a hit. Now we got tied ball somewhere for a hit. Now we got tied ball game, and your pitcher is dealing right now. So this is good news for the Dogs. Let's see if they can add on with 2 outs.
One of our favorite phrases, the pitcher can help himself, is complain about just sitting back and letting the defense make those mistakes.
No, that's the name of the game at this level for sure. Is of course you want to force the action, but you can do that in so many ways. We saw it about a week ago with a bunch of bunts, walks, and just getting on base and creating chaos. And
you run for Bates. And now it's the freshman Braden Chesser taking his cuts, and we saw him, Colby, on the mound to start the JV game, and he looked pretty good, so maybe a future in pitching for this young man.
Yeah, he did look really good. It was impressive, and I was glad to see old coach. So he knows he's in the zone right now, and let's see if he can kind of tap back into that and get another run home for the Dogs.
So he fouls that one away, and he trails in the count 1-2. Gansky trying to get out of this, still at a 1-run ball game.
And taking bases when necessary. That was a good secondary and take of home from Green. Braden Chesser also taking a bag after the wild throw. So yeah, that's just good fundamental baseball and 3-1 game Dogs.
I like that phrase, Colb's fundamental baseball. With the second baseman holding on Green at second, a wide open hole on that right side, and Chesser got a pitch outside, sits back, doesn't try to pull off or do too much. Takes care of business, and the Dogs now lead 3-1 in the bottom of the first. As another senior, Wyatt Bates, steps in, the right fielder. Gansky missed that first pitch. Lets it go for a ball, and Chesser will take third. And Colby, we were talking about seeing Coach Chesser here earlier tonight. I believe he was only here to watch Braden pitch in the JV because the middle school has a JV tournament tonight in Columbia. So good luck to those Dogs.
Yeah, good luck to those Dogs. We were talking about the pipeline and the future of Bulldog baseball. Bulldog sports right now is just it's looking up and up and up. Every single season, every single sport.
And Bates shoots that one down the right field line, but it's foul.
So good luck to those Dogs, and yeah, they'll be up.
That first pitch to Toddy high, ball 1.
A lot of standing up right now. Not a lot of extension for Gansky, and as you can see, either leaves it up, stands up and leaves it up, or short arms it and on the ground. So
Bates takes off, no throw, and he'll take second with ease. So do we give him a steal or a defensive indifference?
Steal. Easily steal, right?
But now Gansky goes back to the windup again, misses tall, and Toddy's way ahead in the count, 3-0.
Yeah, he was really working on it last night too, and wow, there's a good swing.
Right there on cue, that's going to drop in center field for a hit. Chesser scores. Throw to the plate's late, and it gets past the catcher, 2-run score. And Qualls takes second. It's a 2 RBI base knock for Major Qualls.
Yeah, that's a confidence booster right there. You know, as do
Hit Kraft. Hit Kraft. And he started this inning off with a ground out back to the pitcher. The 1-1. Another breaking ball. This one, again, misses inside. Tried to snap it back, a little front door action.
it's funny how lineups work, especially to start the game. Your first two guys, your probably two best athletes, I'd say. Maybe John Michael's in that conversation, but they both get out immediately. And then with two outs, you score 3 runs and really just keep moving it on down the lineup. So let's see if these first two guys can get a hit. Let's see if they can get on the parade.
They're due, as they say. And Kraft popped that one foul. It's a deuces wild. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 count. Cars right now, just staying out of the cold air, being able to see it with their eyes, but hearing the cars right now, just staying out of the cold air, being able to see it with their eyes, but hearing the commentary so they can get a more crystal clear understanding of what's going on. And
Especially how we do it, because we're so precise and we're so good at what we do.
we're always on top
So
of it.
yeah, it's pretty impressive to hear us, I would say.
We're also very humble.
Just two Hickman County guys. That's
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Yep. So going back to that first inning, Carter Bates ended it with 3 straight strikeouts. And we remember him starting with that kind of leadoff triple, but kind of just that leaving it there. So let's see if he can get back there and a really good first pitch.
He gets a swing and a miss to start the at-bat at 6, 7, and 8 due up for the night. Starting off will be the first baseman Carter Cone, number 19. And there's 2 strikes on Cone.
Get ahead and get early. That's really the name of the game as a pitcher.
The 0-2 swung on and missed.
4 straight Ks. Let's see how a guy frames a pitch to the ump, to even the pitcher's confidence is very important. And it's hard to catch a ball better than what he's doing right now. It looks pretty when he's catching.
So Bates way ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Make that 5 strikeouts through 2 innings of work for Bates. And we're heading to the bottom of the second. It's 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Dogs. Well, Colby, we didn't even have time to blink before that inning came in and went. Carter Bates working dominantly but efficiently as well.
Yeah, that's as a pitcher, you couldn't have it any other way. 3 pitches to the first guy, a pop out on I think the second pitch, and then 3 pitches to the third. Like efficiency is kind of the name of the game. Of course, you get outs, limit damage, but if you can save arms, especially towards district time, not having to use bullpen guys, it's pretty important, and that's what he does out there. He did it last week. He's doing it tonight.
And with a lot of these Bulldog pitchers, we talk about how they're able to go the distance pretty much any time they're called upon. We can see any of these guys go the whole 7. But the problem is these last few weeks, Colby, they've been doing that, but not without running up that pitch count. But Carter Bates through 2 innings has only thrown 28 pitches. This is the most efficient we've seen a Bulldog arm in some time.
Yeah, he's definitely on track. And even John Michael last night, I think like I said earlier, I think he threw like 44 or 45 pitches in the just couple of innings he was there. So, yeah, it's always a good thing when you can limit pitches. Obviously, that's the name of the game. As the least amount of pitches to get the most outs is kind of how you would draw it up. And Carter's doing a fantastic job tonight.
Aiden Spiegelmeyer leading off the home half of the second for the Dogs. He popped out to the shortstop his last time up. Squares to bunt, pulls back, and has to duck and cover as that ball was making a beeline right for his ear hole.
Yeah, those aren't fun. Those aren't fun to see come right out of your head.
No, not at all.
But yeah, he's up on the plate for a reason. He's trying to get in the action.
And a swing and a miss at a ball way below the knees. Maybe a bit
flag. You can kind of see it, the flag in the deep behind center field. Everything's moving really hard towards the right field line, and you kind of saw it affect that ball. Just keep creeping, and eventually get out of play.
So the 3-2, we're going to run it back. Gansky fires. Misses high, and Spiegelmeyer is on to start the bottom of the second. Some good wheels on, and maybe we'll see some action over there at first.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets the green light to run up 5-1 with your 3 and 4 holes on. It's a good situation to have for sure.
Gansky checks over. Pickoff move, misses low. It gets away from Cone. Spiegelmeyer is going to take at least second, rounds hard, and he's going to stop there. Left, and those low liners, Colbs, they can certainly be problems for those outfielders.
Those are also tough ones for a base runner to kind of see the
outfielders.
Those are also tough ones for a base runner to kind of see the depth, and you're kind of taught as the outfielder takes more steps back, you take a step forward. The ones kind of equal with the outfielders are tough though, because it looks like they're kind of going back, but that kind of looked like he tracked it. I kind of wish he would at least got back to the bag and bluffed going to third to make the center fielder throw. Got back to the bag and bluffed going to third to make the center fielder throw. But at the end of the day, John Michael's up with one out and a guy in scoring position. You can't be too mad.
And even though that ball didn't drop in for a hit, that just shows how on McCaleb has been at the plate. Hard line drive again up the middle. Just sometimes they don't fall. Lewis down 0-1 in the count. That one misses, gets away to the backstop, and Spigs takes third.
Yeah, another thing, I'm obviously not at field level or anything, but it did rain a little bit before, so the dirt might be a little hard. Well, it might be I don't know. But it might be bouncing a little weird for those catchers tonight. And John Michael hits one hard right at a gut, and it drops.
And that's gonna fall into center field. So Spiegelmeyer will score, and Lewis has himself a one-out RBI single. And Lewis, not exactly a burner out there on second, but has average, maybe slightly above average speed. Bates, sharp ground ball to short, fields it on a hop, throw to first, a little bit high, and it goes over the first baseman's glove, and Lewis scoots up to third, and Bates holds on at first. So another defensive miscue for the Knights.
Again, putting the ball in play, making that the team get you out. It's an out if you strike out, but it might not be if you hit a ground ball right out somebody, especially how hard these guys are hitting it tonight. You really want them to make you get you out. So yeah, that's another hard hit ball, and first and third, one out for Braden Chesser.
And we saw on that throw that Taylor made from shortstop to first, he stayed a little bit too tall on his follow through. He didn't bring down and follow it through all the way. Maybe that shoulder flew out a little bit. A lot of things can go wrong on a throw like that you might think is simple, but you still need to stay mechanically sound to execute it.
It's also cold. Could be a wet ball. Like, a lot of things could be happening, but yeah, whatever happened, you get now. Dogs got first and third, so good opportunity for us.
And that one misses down and into Chesser. He's ahead in the count 2-0.
We saw him last time kind of do what many veterans do and just go backside and hit one right over the second baseman, if I'm remembering right. And would love to see another one right here.
The pitch, Chesser skies it in foul ground. Cone under it. He makes the catch. Ooh, and Lewis giving him a look over at third, maybe thinking about tagging up on an infield pop-up. Don't see that all too often.
No, you do not. I feel like we saw it at the last home game. Didn't someone tag from a pop up to like second base or something?
Yeah,
I feel like we did
yeah,
see
it did
that.
happen.
Yeah,
So
wacky stuff happening at at Hickman County. But now you get 2 outs. Main priority is to get that guy home from third.
and a nice block behind the plate by Shockey. That ball goes off the glove of Gansky on the mound, and Lewis going to stay at third. But the runner does move up to second. Dogs got second and third, 2 outs for Wyatt Bates. He was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. That one misses upstairs for a ball.
2-0. There's no force anymore with the guy moving, with Green moving to second.
That one, again, misses high. And right there, if that ball, I mean, Colby, if that's maybe an inch or two down, you're probably getting that strike call at the letters.
Yeah, and maybe this is the pitching staff. Well, there's our answer right there. Got an open base to work with. Let's maybe go deeper in the lineup and see if we can get a ground ball and get out of this thing. Now you got forces everywhere. Base hit, drive some runners home. Let's see what Ruger can do.
So senior Ruger Toddy steps in with the bases juiced. 2 outs, Dogs up 6-1 in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch. Misses high. Maybe thinking about a back pick to third on Lewis. Toddy fouls it off. Nice job of protection. That ball in the hands, not much you can do with it. So Toddy lives to see another pitch. 3-2 out. The payoff pitch from Gansky. Runners go. Ball in the dirt. And Lewis crosses the plate. Dogs lead 7-1.
Bulldogs, number 14, Major Qualls.
And it looks like we're going to be getting a mound visit. And I'm not sure they're making a move to pull him just yet. Maybe just trying to calm him down.
Yeah, you're still pretty early in this game, and I don't know that you want to not necessarily waste, but throw out another arm and use that arm. You're hoping he gets an out right here, and you can at least get through 2 innings. Because really, you just need one more, and you got to force anywhere. Looks like also the second baseman and shortstop are coming in for a couple of words, and the first baseman. A lot of pep talks going on, but
And Colby, a note I want to mention to you, I think we got a new courtesy runner at third base. I think we have Jackson Smith, a senior, out there running to get himself some reps in this senior night varsity game.
you are right. That is Jackson Smith.
So 2 outs, bases loaded, pitch to Qualls, swung on and missed. And Qualls had that big 2 RBI base hit his last time up, looking to do some more damage here. And whenever you have your 9-hole hitter able to do that kind of work, you know you're living right as a baseball team. That one caught the outside corner, strike 2. So following the mound visit, Gansky way ahead in the count, 0-2, and he's 1 strike away from keeping the lead right where it is. Outfield shaded over to the right. The 0-2 to Qualls, way outside. And Smith, back pick down to third, gets away from the third baseman. Smith will score. Bates moves up to third. And behind him, Toddy advances to second. Dogs lead 8-1. So Jackson Smith was able to accomplish what I think John Michael was trying to do when he was at third. Draw that throw down because they've had those miscues already.
Yeah, very smart game plan there.
The 1-2 to Qualls. Check swing. Yes, he did. And Qualls takes off the first. Throw down. And the putout is complete. Qualls strikes out. And the inning's over, but not after the Bulldogs add on some run support. They put 3 more up in the second inning. It's Hickman County 8. It's Kenwood 1. And Carter Bates continues to ride on the mound, Colby. And as much as we've loved seeing this Hickman County offense produce, how do those long offensive innings affect the pitcher?
Especially with it being cold and windy, it could really, for lack of a better term, cool you off. Um, just what you try to do is you try to stay loose, you try to walk around. It's good too in high school because your pitcher's hitting, so he gets up to the dish, he gets to run around the bases if he gets on, obviously. But if you're in the dugout, you're wearing a jacket on the arm, you're loosening it, you have a rag in your hand, and you're kind of throwing it almost like a throw motion. You're just trying to stay warm, so one, you feel like you can go out there still compete like you want. Also, you just don't like want to hurt yourself. So it's very important in these types of games to be active.
And it's going to be 9-1-2 for the Kenwood Knights to start the third. It's number 23, Bernardo Olpet, stepping in. First pitch, misses low for a ball. Swung on and missed. Bates has been getting a lot of those tonight, a lot of swings and misses. The 1-1. That one misses high and away. And Colby, I think part of what contributes to Bates' efficiency, and that ball smoked right back up the middle past the glove of Bates, and it's a leadoff single for Kenwood. Well, like I was saying, Colby, what contributes to Bates' efficiency, at least so far tonight, has been how fast he's been working. I mean, he's keeping that rhythm. He's not giving himself or the hitter much time to think in between pitches.
It's so important to keep almost like a cadence going on out there where you feel relaxed. You almost don't have to think. You get the sign and you go. And it helps, too, if you're throwing strikes, and he's been doing that.
And the lineup rolls over to the leadoff man, Taylor, who started the game off with a triple, and he would eventually score. As a matter of fact, he would score their only run of the contest. Bates delivers. That one in there for a strike.
Back to work, hitting the zone. That one was pretty middle, but that's what you want to do, just throw strikes and get back in the zone.
Chopper back to the mound. Bates to second for one. On to first. Late. And Lewis had to lay out just to knock that one down. But a nice job by Bates just to secure one.
Yeah, great play by the pitcher there. It looked like Spiggs maybe like double pumped. Maybe he didn't get a good grip on the ball. Again, it's wet. It's cold. He just might not have had a good grip and kind of rushed that throw. And glad that the guy didn't move from there. And we were able, and John Michael was able to stay on it and cover it. But one out, good play by the pitcher, and we got the 2-hole up.
Gansky swings, ground ball to third. Toddy to second for one. On to first. Gets past Lewis, so again, they only get the lead runner. But now there's two away. 2 outs, Gansky on first, and stepping in, the 3-hole hitter, Lestat Bridge, the second baseman.
We talk about pitch count and talk about being efficient. One way to do that is keep getting ground balls right to infielders, and he did a great job getting quick strikeouts early. He's doing a great job of getting ground balls right now.
And stepping in as Bridge, he struck out his last time. He was the first of 4 straight strikeouts that Bates recorded. The 1-1, breaking ball, nasty, gets a swing and a miss.
Yeah, that's a great pitch to pair with the fastball. You almost saw in the camera that that Bridge was almost like slow motion. He didn't know what to do. It was the speed was so different.
0-2, delivers, fouled off.
Another good pitch. He was so out in front in that, but 2 balls going at Carter Bates right now. Great player. I mean, that's a good athlete. That's a good move out there. But yeah, this has been a great at bat, and really good inning from Carter Bates so far. Let's see if he can finish the job with 0-2 count.
He's thrown 10 pitches so far this inning. Pick off, move over to first. Gansky back in standing. The 0-2. Misses high. McCaleb on the money. And he's out at second base.
That was a perfect pitch sequence into a throw. I don't know if he put it on. By Cooper's reaction, they might have had like a little pitch out, modified pitch out. Either way, great spot to miss. Great throw by McCaleb, excuse me. And man, he was out by 10 feet. So good inning from Carter Bates, and he's really working and doing a great job on the mound right now.
Thou shalt not steal on Braden McCaleb. As that brings the top of the third to a close, Hickman County still leads 8-1. And it's going to be the Dogs coming up next to take their cuts. And it's going to be the top third of this Bulldog lineup getting started for the bottom half of inning number 3. It's going to be Kraft, Spiegelmeyer, and McCaleb. Only took Carter Bates 11 pitches to get through the top of the third, and the way he's pitching Colby, he could pitch 10 innings with the way he's going.
Yeah, and this, like, we said this a bunch last week. I don't want to keep saying it, but having Carter Bates on the bump is so reliable. You know what you're going to get. And this is what you're going to get, a very efficient pitcher. And, like, even more so tonight, he gave up that one triple, and since then he's gotten ground balls galore. He's got 5 strikeouts. I mean, he's looked pretty impressive. And going into district play after seeing John Michael last night, I wish we could have broadcasted that because, man, was he dominant. But seeing that last night, seeing Carter Bates tonight, and knowing the other arms that this team has, it's a good feeling watching them play ball right now and having confidence going in to, like we said earlier, the meat and potatoes of this season. So back up to the top. Andy Kraft is the only one, fun fact, that doesn't have a hit tonight. I think that changes if I was a betting man, but we're not sponsored, so I'm not not doing any betting things here. But yeah, Andy Kraft looking for his first base hit, and yes, he is number 6 tonight.
At the very least, Kraft is the only guy that hasn't reached base. And
yeah, that's correct. The only one that hasn't reached base. There's a couple that do not have hits. That's a better way to put it, Josh.
And that throw concludes the warm-ups.
Up next for your Bulldogs, number 6, Andy Kraft.
And stepping in is Kraft. 0 for 2, but with how good of a hitter this young man is, you know it's not going to stay that way for very long.
No, and even if it is like weak contact, he's one of those guys on this team that, like many of them, had that speed to he could probably beat something out. So let's see if he can get us started in the third and put some more runs on a pretty decent lead right now.
And there's a new arm on the mound for Kenwood. It's number 8, Tristan Wallace. He comes in for relief, trying to keep this game at 8-1. His first pitch to Kraft misses for a ball. And Kraft ahead early 2-0. Here's the pitch. And that one misses low.
Yeah, Wallace so far has looked really just like an old school, just traditional windup. It's very synced. It's kind of north and south, a little more athletic than the last guy, but we'll see what he has. I mean, he got behind 3-0 to the first batter. Let's see if he can build, and let's see if Andy Kraft can kind of take advantage of a new guy out there on a cold night.
So the 3-1 pitch to Kraft. In the zone, Kraft hits it well to center. But the center fielder camped out underneath it, and he hauls it in. And it's like we said, the ball is just not going to carry as much on a cold, wet night. And it was a pretty routine play for Jerome Asbury patrolling Central.
Yeah, like you said, the ball is just not really going anywhere tonight. Another hard hit ball though.
It sounded good.
Similar to McCaleb's too, like just right at a guy. But like that's hard hit too.
And Spiegelmeyer pulls off of that one. The ball was outside. It gets past the left fielder. Spiegelmeyer can fly. Asbury has to get there to run the ball down, and he gets it in, keeping Spigs at second. And any time you see a ball get past an outfielder with Spiegelmeyer on the bases, you can't help but smile because you get to watch this kid run. He is like a bolt of lightning.
Yeah, he is one of those kids, just like Andy Kraft, just like Major Qualls, that you love watching them on the bases because they create that chaos and really can just run. I mean, it's almost like selfish. I wish he would have hit a single so I could see him still second. We could see him run to third.
First pitch to Michaela. It's going to the dugout. It's in the dugout. And Spigs is going to be rewarded home. No, he's not.
Looked like the home plate umpire corrected. That's a tough one because he's rounding third. You kind of think he got to the bag, but I feel like if it was an 8-7 game, that would have been more of an argument.
I think ultimately that is the right call, though. First pitch to Michaela misses. That one gets away. Nice block by Shockey behind the dish. I was going to say, Colby, we went from hoping to see Spigs run to he would have had to just walk home.
Yeah. You take a run as easy or as hard as you can get it, but yeah, watching these kids run the base paths is fun.
The 2-0 to McCaleb. He's swinging 2-0. That one flight out to center. Spiegelmeyer tags. Asbury's throw to the plate is offline, and Spiegelmeyer will score standing, and it's a sac fly RBI for Braden McCaleb.
Up next for the Bulldogs, number 4.
And he's not used to having to do this too often, Colby, but with the bases clear and 2 out, John Michael Lewis having to play a bit of leadoff.
Yeah, I'm interested to see his approach if it changes. Like, I wouldn't because he's in the zone right now, and just you just want to hit a ball hard somewhere. But let's see with 2 outs if he can just get on base.
And that one bounces, nice pick. 1-0 to Lewis. The 1-0 pitch misses high for a ball, and Lewis has to limbo out of the way.
Yeah, as a hitter, this is kind of a good count where you're looking to attack. And we were talking last night about an old coach from CA saying you need it in a box, but in truth, you're looking for one spot here.
And that one not the spot as it misses outside. Ball 3, 3-0.
3-0, and I'm whispering because I don't want to say it too loud, but he definitely just got the takes on from coach, so he's not swinging here.
3-0, Lewis probably going to keep that bat on his shoulder. And that one catches the outside corner for a strike, and the throw back to the pitcher airmails him. So now the second baseman, Bridge, has to help him out.
Yeah, this is just like 2-0, this is the count where you're looking for your pitch, especially with kind of how erratic Kenwood has been tonight on the mound.
And 3-1, you'd rather not see your ace on the mound get hit by a pitch. But Lewis, he's a tough cookie.
Yeah, I think he's fine jogging over to first and accepting first base. Let's see if Carter Bates can keep helping himself, as we say, and try to drive a guy in from first.
Oh, Colby, we forgot to say it. John Michael Lewis was on cycle watch. He had a double and a single. He's halfway there.
Yeah, he is halfway there. He only needs the two hardest left. But if you wanna do the baker's dozen cycle, which isn't a dozen, but the baker's cycle, he has a walk now too.
I'd like to see one of these seniors muscle one out on senior night. That'd be pretty awesome. Maybe it'll be Carter Bates ahead in the count 1-0, takes that one low and away 2-0. And Bates has certainly had a memorable senior night on the mound, trying to add to that at the plate. He's 0 for 1. He walked. He did reach on that overthrown ball by Taylor, the shortstop, his last time up. Lewis breaks late. The throw still not in time. Dives in head first.
Pretty impressive play, honestly, from the catcher. I know it didn't result in an out, but a good block, sliding over, putting the chest out in front of that ball, blocking it right in front of you, picking it up and throwing pretty good strike to second. It's just John Michael's pretty quick over there. So got a guy in scoring position for Carter Bates up. Let's see if he can help himself out there on the mound.
Lewis had a great jump as well. The 3-0 down and away. Lewis thought about it, goes about halfway and retreats back to second. Dogs have first and second following the Bates walk for Braden Chesser. Braden Chesser also 1 for 2. He popped out to the first baseman and had that single into right field for an RBI, his first at-bat. And a ball in the gap probably scores 2, and we've got a courtesy run.
Really, if you get
to third, Smith to third, Smith to second.
Up next for the Bulldogs.
Now Wyatt Bates, bases loaded, 2 outs.
Doesn't have an at bat recorded tonight. He's been hit by a pitch and a walk. He has stolen a couple bags and has a run, so he has played the game, but no official recorded at bat.
That on-base percentage is 1,000 for his senior night game.
You can't beat that.
That first pitch misses in the dirt, outside for a ball. Bates takes a step or two on the plate a little bit, crowding it, wanting to get something to hit. The 1-0. Bates is swinging. That ball's lined to left center. Center fielder fading over. He makes a nice catch over his head to end the inning. And at the end of 3, Hickman County 9, Kenwood 1. And as we head to the top half of the 4th, Colby, what a play that was out in center by Asbury.
Yeah, he's made a couple good reads tonight and good plays, and I know that grass is wet because we saw the left fielder take a tumble on, I want to say it was John Michael's hard hit. So there was a ball hit right at the left fielder, and he kind of slipped out there. So I know it's wet. I know the conditions aren't ideal, and he's still making some absolute web gems out there. That one right there has beat them all, though.
And Hickman County, who still leads by 8, still in firm control, so I don't want to call that a game-saving catch, but that definitely would have put things more out of hand if that ball gets past him, probably scores all 3.
Yeah, right now, I still think you have a chance. You know, it's hard the deeper you go in the game to start to make a run, but, you know, you chip away with a couple innings here, a couple runs here, a couple runs there. But, yeah, that would have really broke this game wide open. So a great defensive effort by the center fielder, and he's been making plays all night, so it's not too surprising. I'm locked in on how Carter Bates kind of responds to another long inning, and he's dealing right now. So let's see if he can lock back in and start to pound the zone again, because he's been so efficient.
And just for a moment, I want to thank all of you tuning in and joining us here tonight on WNKX, whether it's through Facebook, YouTube, or the Access Tennessee app on Roku. And early this morning, I had the opportunity of going down to Centerville Intermediate School for Career Day to talk a little bit about what we do here at the radio station in Hickman County, and that was such a blessing, a fun time. I really want to thank Miss Suzanne Lewis, who invited me down there to take part in that. And I know I talked to a lot of great kids, and maybe some of them are listening in tonight even. That first one misses down and in, and I even saw a couple of them that I saw this morning here at the ballpark. and swung on and missed at a ball.
A really cool thing, and I know when you asked me to help you, I was like, oh, awesome, this is sweet, get to watch high.
The future is bright for this small little town. And who knows, if you are a kid listening to this who I saw this morning, this could be you one day. Who knows?
You could be on the same celebrity status as Josh Copley.
Maybe. Hopefully you can be a bit more important than that. And Bates misses low. 2-0.
That's the fun part about high school baseball, Josh. Maybe you are down 8 runs, but man, that dugout, being in the dugout, it's awesome. They're still pumped. They're still in the game. That as a coach, that's what you want to see. You don't want your guys to mail it in and phone it in. So that's such a beauty of like high school sports. Is you still look at this energy. This is awesome.
A lot of guys chirping. Colbs, let's be honest. There's a lot of big personalities in that Bulldog dugout, and we know it'd be hard for them to stay quiet for longer than 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah, for sure.
And a big rip and a miss on a 3-1 pitch from Bates counts runs full to 3-2 to the DH, Jaden Barnes.
Yeah, it's a great job by Carter to get back into this count. Let's see what he does on 3-2.
And he gets a swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Carter Bates.
That is 6 of them. He hasn't had one a little bit, but man, if he can start to get some of those and some ground balls, he really hasn't lost too much. He's only allowed 2 hits tonight. He's hit a guy, and everything else is red. It's a lot of strikeouts. It's a lot of ground balls and a fly out. He's just dealing right now.
And whenever you start to run up the strikeout totals, Colby, that usually means you're going to run up that pitch count too. But he's had as many strikeouts as he's had tonight, while still just now throwing his 50th pitch halfway through the game.
The thing to watch too is how many full counts are you in, or how many foul balls have the other team been able to foul off. I can't remember too many full counts except for that last one. And that's honestly one of the first foul balls I even remembered just now. So he's missing. He's not just like striking guys out, but he's missing bats. He's ahead early, and getting ground balls when necessary too.
Now Coach Duchesne out to talk to Braden McCaleb. That foul ball might have caught him in a way that made the coach a little bit nervous to check on his health.
Catchers they're a different type of people, man. Like having to wear that back there, and even spike pitches, having to block it, and still be an athlete with a good arm. You got to be a different kind of athlete to catch, especially on a good team like this one.
The count's 1-2 to the center fielder Jerome Asbury. The pitch swung on and missed. Strikeout number 7 for Carter Bates, and we're heading to the bottom of the 4th inning for the 4th inning stretch.
I'd like to remind everybody that
Josh, as we're kind of in this break as the Dogs are about to go back to hit with Toddy, Qualls, and Kraft up, I just want to say how impressive it is right now for Carter Bates. You think a lot about like strikeout to walk ratio, 7-1 right now. That's how you pitch a good ball game. And that one was a hit by pitch. I think he was trying to really work the inside corner, if I remember right, and it just got him. So like the 7-1 like ratio, that you want to live in that kind of world where that ratio is 2-1, and he's maximized that. Like it's blown that out of proportion. So that's super key, and obviously getting ahead early. That's the other thing. He's doing those really well. It's really fun to watch, honestly.
And I want to put an asterisk next to that hit by pitch too, because if you remember, the hit by pitch was on the number 2 hole hitter Josiah Gansky, and he had that bunt. He pulled back and got hit, so Bates was probably thrown off a little bit by that bunt attempt, so not your traditional hit by pitch.
And right after the triple too. So it's like start of the game, there's a triple, guy at third messing with you, guy trying to bunt. Like there's a lot going on. You never want to hit a guy, but you can understand why maybe that one got away. But after that, Josh, 4 strikeouts, a flyout, another strikeout, a random single, okay? Just a random single, and then 2 ground balls a flyout, and 2 more strikeouts. Like, just outs galore. And that's how you draw it up, man. Like, sure, you gave up that first run of the game, but after that, settling in, getting back in the windup, being pitch efficient, getting ahead of counts early, it's really textbook how to pitch, and he's doing a great job.
Meanwhile, Kenwood's turning to their third arm in the bottom of the fourth. It's a pitching change. It's number 14, Aiden Fussin, on the mound for the Knights. And Fussin started this game in right field, and usually you have one of your best arms out in right field in case you need to make a big throw to third or home. So
you, but curious to see if that's true. He's a bigger guy than the guy we just saw in Wallace, correct? Yeah, Wallace. Yeah, he's a bigger stature. Maybe he throws a little harder. But if you're the Dogs, you're still working counts and getting back to what you've been doing.
So it went Gansky, then Wallace, and now Fussin.
And here we go. We've got Toddy, Qualls, Kraft due up. And let's see if the Dogs keep attacking and keep really just stay in the zone right here.
We talked about Wyatt Bates not technically having a registered at-bat in this one. Ruger Toddy, the exact same. He's 0 for 0 with a couple of walks.
2 walks, has scored a run, also has an RBI on that second walk, which is a fun little stat. But let's see if we can get it.
Loaded.
Yep, classic. Best RBI to get.
And that one called a strike on the outer half. Count evens up at 1. And as much as these seniors love getting on base and scoring, they want to hit the ball. So maybe we'll see Toddy be a bit more aggressive in the batter's box. And he's ahead 2-1, a pretty good hitter's count.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if they're going to do some things like maybe move up in the box or some of those things you do to try to be on the attack and catch things out in front.
And that one misses as Toddy ducks for cover. Way ahead in the count, 3-1, and Toddy's 1 ball away from racking up his 3rd walk of the night. And there it is, 3 base on balls for Toddy, and he continues to find ways to get on base. Look at that hustle too, Colby. He took that walk and he bolted down to first. There was no walking in that walk.
No, they need to rename that for sure. But looks like a real Barry Bonds up there. Guys aren't pitching to him, don't want to pitch to him. They're scared of the bat, and I get it. He's been hot, as has most everyone in this lineup so far. So let's see if Major Qualls can get him a base hit. Oh, I love that.
Squares the bunt, pushes it down the third baseline, and foul.
Major Qualls, that if there's a guy on base, that's got to be his bread and butter. He's so fast, such a good athlete that if he just even slaps it down the line, he's got a chance to get on base. But a bunt out of the 9-hole, try to move a runner. He even has a chance to get on first because of his speed with the top of the lineup coming up. It's such a good play call by Coach DeShane.
Squares again, puts it down back to the mound. Crashing, throw to first, high, but no problem over there at first. And give Qualls the sack bunt as he just kept on running down the right field line, went halfway into the outfield. It's hard to get that train stopped, Colby, once it's on the tracks.
I wouldn't know, and I don't think you would either, how to stop something that fast. But, that's such a good bunt. Maybe if you were a stickler more down the line or something so he can have the chance to get on. But that's the job he had, to move the guy over and get the top of the order up. And he did his job, so props to Major.
And all credit, too, to Fussin on the mound to make that play, coming off the mound, falling off, knowing you've got a fast runner moving down the line, got to be quick, got to make a perfect throw, and he did just that. And that one gets away. Toddy moves up to third with 1 out, and Andy Kraft steps in. Yeah, Colby, by the time Major was in right field, a guy like me, I'm probably only halfway to first base by the time he gets out there, so some guys just have that speed. Other guys like me do not.
Nope, I'm right there with you. I couldn't even dream of going that fast anywhere, maybe even my car. So,
the 2-0 to Kraft smacks that one foul.
Kraft's still looking for his first hit or even his first time on base, this would be a great opportunity. Guy at third, one out, to hit something hard somewhere, or even work a walk. So let's see if he can start things up with one out.
And right now, we want to see that situational baseball from the Dogs as Kraft's ahead 2-1. Even if he gets out, an out not the worst thing in the world because a ground ball to the shortstop gets you an RBI.
Yeah, but this is how you work a count right here. You could be frustrated as the top guy not being able to get a hit tonight or even getting on base. But, oh, man, that was
The
smacked.
3-1 low line drive, and the right fielder makes the catch. Gets it in quickly, and with him playing a bit more shallow, Toddy has no choice but to hold tight at third. And that was one of the hardest hit balls of the night, but just tough luck for Andy Kraft.
I would say it is the hardest hit, and that's kind of been his luck, right? He's hit at least one, if not two, really hard balls to the outfield, and then that makes it second or third. Yeah, really, really tough by Andy, but, that's all you can really ask for is just hitting it hard somewhere. Eventually they'll fall, and eventually, you'll be able to get on base from it.
The first pitch to Spiegelmeyer off speed misses high. And even though we've seen quite a few blunders from this Kenwood defense, we've seen some web gems mixed in there too. The center fielder, Asbury, making that tremendous play on the Wyatt Bates line drive into left center. And now that play by Barnes in shallow right, coming in hard, having to slide and make a play on a ball hit really hard. So.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of not letting this thing get too far away from them.
And Spiegelmeyer turns, ball inside, takes a wicked hop, kicks up on the third baseman, and it makes a bad hop on the shortstop too. A double whammy, and Spigs is on first base, and the Dogs have broken double digits.
Now number 12, Brayton McCaleb.
Yeah, that's what happens when you put the ball in play. Most of the time, I would say, at this level, is you just hit it hard somewhere, even at somebody. Make them make you get it out, or make you get out. With a guy on third,
and McCaleb
another good
smacks that first pitch over the head of the third baseman, and McCaleb's on once more with a single.
Now up, number 4, John Michael Lewis.
So on top of the sac fly, he had his last at-bat. That's a couple of base hits for Braden McCaleb in this one, and he has been swinging a hot bat.
Yeah, he has. We sound like a kind of a broken record right now. This lineup has just looked good tonight, last night, and even going back to last week. This is a great time to get going in the season, and they're doing it. And it's good that they're staying in this game and staying in these at bats. Great
Lewis,
swing.
First pitch swinging, smoked into center field, and the Dogs will play a little station to station.
Smart to do with 2 outs. You don't want to force anything. You've got a good sized lead, but you still want to protect those runners. You want to be able to add on, so you don't want to force anything you're not sure of at this point in the game. And good swing by John Michael.
And we've talked over and over how good of an RBI guy Braden McCaleb is, but there are few guys in this district that have been as clutch as Carter Bates at hitting with runners in scoring position. Anytime that young man steps into the box with runners on second and third, he usually always comes through. And even more so than that, he comes through in games that are much tighter than this one.
Yeah, of course. He's a reliable guy. I know we say that a lot. I know I've said that a ton. Reliable on the mound as he is tonight and last week. He's reliable in the box. You can count on him to kind of deliver in clutch situations.
And that breaking ball misses high, and he's ahead in the count 2-0 with 2 outs, bases full.
Yeah.
Spigs at third, Kylan Seal, who came in to run for McCaleb, stands on second, and John Michael Lewis is at first. The 2-0 to Bates. Breaking ball again misses upstairs.
I would think you're taking all the way here. You're really wanting this pitcher to prove that he can throw you a strike. And if he can, then you bust the next one you see. So we'll see what happens here.
The 3-0 to Bates. He is taken all the way, and that's called a strike on the outside corner. And now we'll probably see Carter with that green light.
Yeah.
The 3-1 takes that one in the dirt. That's going to be an RBI walk for the pitcher, Carter Bates.
Up next for the Bulldogs, number 8, Jackson Smith.
So now how about this, Colby? We've got a new batter stepping into the box. It's Jackson Smith on senior night getting a taken at bat for Braden Chesser.
Yeah, good to be able to get in this situation where you can do things like this. And tell you what, Mr. Smith has some will, so I really want to see him fly around the bags right here and get a good base hit.
That first pitch misses down and away. Now, Kenwood almost has an advantage now, knowing that if a ball is hit in play, they don't necessarily have to throw it to first or get Smith out because he is tough with the speed coming out of that right-handed batter's box. And that one misses upstairs for ball 2. Looked like Smith might have flinched a little bit. I thought he was squaring around for a second, but maybe he was just getting going a little bit earlier. The 2-0 takes a big swing and a miss.
I like the aggressiveness on 2-0. Trying to, make something out of nothing. And you're trying to, he's coming in the ball game kind of cold, so I like these cuts right here to stay aggressive in the count. Now it's a 2-2 count, and see if he can deliver right here.
Smith might shorten up trying to put a ball in play. The 2-2 fouled off. Nice job of battling. Fussin just trying to get out of this inning. The 2-2 pitch. Missing inside. The count runs full 3-2. And again, we're going to see some motion on the pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. Jackson Smith at the plate. Here's the pitch. Misses, ball 4. So how about that for your first at bat? Working a 3-2 count, fouling a ball off.
Bulldogs, number 30, Aiden Liddell.
Colby, it's happening. We have an Aiden Liddell at bat. He is the manager for the baseball team, getting his first AB, and what a moment this is.
Yeah, this would be awesome, Josh. Just see if he could just bat the ball somewhere, even just get on base. This would be awesome. Guys in the dugout are as loud as I've heard them all night.
It makes me feel nostalgic thinking about seeing Riley Qualls get to take some ABs back in the day.
There is a resurfacing video every once in a while of him doing a almost swim move style slide into home plate at East in a JV game, and man, is that just awesome. If he could have a moment right here, that would be live in infamy.
And these managers are the unsung heroes of the team. They do so much, and Aiden takes a big cut at a high ball for strike 1.
They really are. They not only do they do so much behind the scenes, but they're so fun to be around. They really are a part of the team, and like a big part of the team.
So now Aiden has found himself in a 2-2 count, 2 out, bases loaded. Come on, Aiden. And he makes contact, popped up. Foul out of play, we'll do it again. So how about the manager putting the bat on the ball?
That's a really good cut, man. That's a good cut for a starter. I think he's seeing it right now. We might get a base hit right here.
Listen, I try to be professional during these games, but man, I want to see Aiden Liddell get a hit.
We'll be professional next at bat.
2-2, missing inside. What a professional at bat from Aiden Liddell. I mean, he is fouling balls off, watching close pitches. 3-2, 2 out, bases loaded. Called strike 3. Oh, and after a battle at the plate, goes down looking to end the 4th. But even still, how fun was that?
Yeah, and man, that was actually a really, really good at bat. The foul ball was pretty impressive for where it was. I'm just interested how the field will look now. I think I'm going to be kind of confused when people are running out there, but awesome at bat either way.
Yeah, I wonder what changes we're going to see Coach Deshane make to the defensive alignment. For now, it seems to be more of the same.
I think it is the same. It looks like the exact same.
Now the next step is getting Aiden out there on the mound. I heard Aiden Liddell could throw 95 before he had Tommy John surgery.
Is that a rumor going around?
I mean, I thought it was true. Is it not?
I need to see it. I need to see it, but I believe you. I mean, after seeing that foul ball and the professional at bat, you could tell me anything.
Have you seen that old baseball movie, Rookie of the Year, about that kid that plays
Absolutely.
the Cubs?
Yeah, with the surgical weird arm that threw like 100 and whatever. That's a great movie. I used to have it on VHS back in the day.
Well, I'm glad you remember because that movie was based on Aiden Liddell.
Yep. I think is that a Kevin Costner's not in that one, right?
I don't know actually. I'll have to go.
He's in just about every baseball movie. But what a good movie! And
it is.
I can't believe that's a true story.
I know. Oh man. So Carter Bates back on the mound for these Bulldogs, only throwing
Kenwood,
53 pitches up to this point as we head to the top of the fifth. First pitch from Bates. He gets a swing and a miss. It's going to be 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Knights, starting with Carter Cone, the first baseman. That one catches a piece of the black. Strike 2.
Back to it. Back to work. You know, just even kill up there, throwing strikes. That's what you want.
The 0-2 pitch. Fouled away. We'll do it again. That's a ball missing just inside. A great 2-strike pitch from Bates.
I got 12.
So, folks, we did correct the scoreboard. It said 11-1 for a while, but it actually is 12-1. Bulldogs lead in the top of the fifth. So now Cone working the at-bat 2-2, but he goes down swinging all the same. Another victim of a Carter Bates strikeout.
Yeah, get in line. They're happening in plenty tonight. I mean, this is really impressive to watch, and not much more you can kind of add on to it. But now we're to
and a swing and a miss. Cameron Shockey steps in, and he's quickly behind the 8-ball 0-2, and that's where a lot of these Knight hitters have been, behind in the count. Bates working quick, the 0-2 fouled back.
Yeah, Carter Bates is just living in the zone and living in the zone early, and that's pitch count-wise where you want to be, and there's not much more. I'm just kind of saying the same thing because it's just impressive how he's doing it up there.
Oh, and a disgusting breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bates to start the fifth.
We have number 14, Aiden Fusion, up to bat.
That's, I think, another 4 straight strikeout streak for Carter Bates. That's 2 tonight. Impressive.
First pitch misses inside. And now, Colby, another impressive statistic about this Carter Bates performance. He has thrown 64 pitches, 45 of those have gone for strikes.
Strikeout to walk ratio 9-1. I mean, just dealing right now. That's a excuse me foul ball. And now we're to 1-2.
I mean, Colby, that's 70% of his
teeing off. But no, he's just living in the zone and just throwing it by guys.
He's got a 2-2. Another breaking ball tries to front door him on that back foot, but it misses just inside. Count
things. You obviously still want to be locked in and still want to keep your pitch count low, but it's a good time to throw some of those stuff you're not as confident in. We know he's confident in the fastball. He spotted it all night, but the breaking stuff, it's good right now to kind of find that and start figuring out, hey, I can throw it here in this count. I can throw it here in this count.
But Fusion is battling out there on at the plate. Keeps it 3-2. Again, the payoff pitch. Bates winds and delivers. Called strike 3. 5 punch-outs in a row for Bates. And what a night he has had, and he is going to continue to have, assuming we see him back in the top of the 6th. Wait. Oh, that is 10 after 5. All right. Bulldogs win.
We are not math guys. I want everyone to know that.
We are not math guys.
We are reactionary guys and fans that saw them line up at third base. But hey, another Bulldogs win. I just want to say how impressed I am with the pitching tonight. I know we said it all game, but Carter, and you can mute the TV when I'm saying this because you've heard it. Carter Bates was impressive. John Michael was impressive last night. This is such a good thing to have going into those meaningful district games coming up. You really couldn't draw it up any better way. Of course, the hittings look good, but I as a pitcher, and I loved pitching. That's the impressive part. If your guy can go up there and throw strikes and be efficient, you got a chance to win every night.
And again, let's go through this Carter Bates stat line. Through 5 innings of work, he only gave up 2 hits, 1 run. It was an earned run, no walks, and 10 strikeouts for Carter Bates on senior night. Take a bow, young man.
10-1 strikeout to walk ratio. It's borderline perfect, honestly. And that's your number 2 guy. It's a guy you can give the ball to and be like, all right, he's going to do a lot of good for us. And it's brings that coaching staff and team so much confidence going into these meaningful games.
And again, Colbs, it was really a team effort through and through, but we got to give special props to Carter Bates for the outing he gave us tonight. Only threw 71 pitches in this victory as well, and 50 of those were strikes, as that is just an impressive statistic. Unbelievable.
The best part is you really haven't used a lot of your pitching up. Like, I know you don't have a game till, is it Monday is the next game? So it doesn't really matter, but if you can stay consistent in not using pitching and having your 2 kind of aces, your 2 horses go out there and do what they do, you're going to be in a great spot. You're going to save arms, you're going to save innings, and guys are going to be fresh.
And these Bulldogs do have a loaded week next week. They play Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday, it's going to be at Lewis County. Tuesday, they're going to be hosting Lewis County. Thursday, it's at Waverly. And then Friday, the week wraps up hosting Waverly. So Monday, Colbs, we see the district play start, and those games are going to be fun, and I can't wait for them.
Yeah. It's the meat of your season. It's the big time of your season, and it's a time that Bulldog fans need to be at the games. You know, be behind everyone. This team is fun to watch, and yes, like watching me and Josh be goofballs and cover the game, but you know it's good. But try to get out there and support your dogs.
Absolutely, and listen. We're always going to appreciate those of you that listen to us and support the radio station, but we are always going to encourage that you show up in person, cheer on these dogs, because they work super hard, and they absolutely deserve your undying and unyielding support, and I'm sure we're going to give that to them as a fan base in the weeks to come, because Monday's a rivalry game too, Colby. We can talk about the district game, but Lewis County, it has gotten heated over these last few years. I mean, it's been a rivalry for a while, don't get me wrong, but with basketball especially, football, it's a rivalry, and baseball, I'm expecting more of the same.
Even back when we played, Josh, back in the Stone Age, it was still a rivalry then, you know. You like, it's every sport, you just want to beat them. Like, there's a couple schools that are like that, and Lewis County is one that's like, they're going to be a rivalry. It's important to play well, and it's really a pride thing. So I know that's what's being talked about in the huddle and what will be talked about in days to come. But if you're the Dogs, you look at the past couple performances, and you're like as excited as you could be to go into games like that. You're as confident as you could be to go into games like that. It's a good time. if you're the Dogs and how you've played to go into those games, because sometimes you can go in flat and kind of scared to play those games. But with how they've hit the ball, how they pitch, how they play defense, how they've run the bases, it should give them confidence to go into that stretch playing well.
Well, a point I was going to make, Colbs, is that no errors tonight for this Hickman County defense. And that's even with some guys playing positions that they're not as used to playing, like Chesser used to playing third, played at second tonight, did great. Ruger Toddy played third, usually a DH or a courtesy runner, did great at third. Spiegelmeyer has been making that transition to short. He looks great. Kraft out in center, he looks great. I mean, this is a great defensive team full of guys that you could put anywhere, and if a ball's hit to him, you can just turn away because about it.
It's a great mix of speed, athleticism, and these. And they know they're not going to take anything for granted here, and they get to work on their craft. And we talked about pregame. Coaching staff is talking to them about, hey, this is an opportunity to get better every single pitch, and you can tell about how they play. It's impressive. It's fun. Like, it's fun to win, obviously, and it's fun to play well. And playing well gives you that confidence, So that it's awesome to watch, and that's how you win a ball game. You pitch well, you get ahead early. You don't have to strike everybody out, but you get outs, quick outs, stay efficient, and your defense just plays well. No mistakes.
And they're going to need those hot bats on Monday. They're going to need those golden gloves on Monday. As it's a rivalry game, it's a district game, it's the Dogs, it's the Panthers on the road, and we're going to be there covering it for you. But until then, on senior night, the Hickman County Bulldogs defeated Kenwood by a final score of 12-1. And as one final personal note from us here at WNKX, thank you to the seniors and the parents who have raised such wonderful kids. These guys have been great leaders. They have been an absolute pleasure and privilege to keep up with, not just on the baseball field, but in the other sports they've been playing. Just a great group of guys, and I know they're going to excel wherever they go. But it's good to get the senior night out of the way midway through the year, so that way you can really focus. You don't have that pomp and circumstance. So a great night through and through, honoring those folks, and then getting a big win to boot. But until Monday, for Colby Shelton, I've been Josh Copley, bidding you adieu, goodbye, and good night.